Good evening, everyone. Thank you for taking your time to join us tonight. I'm Dr. Elizabeth Olson, and I am a chiropractor in southeastern Minnesota. And my background is in advanced nutrition, pediatrics, and rehab and sports medicine.
Awesome. And I am Dr. Jess Buhler, and I'm a chiropractor, and I also do NATE and acupuncture in central South Dakota. And we are going to talk to you tonight about biohacking your body to better health using something called nutrigenomics. So I just used a lot of terminology there, and we're not here to impress you with fancy words or anything like that. But we want to inform you about some information that is very exciting to us, and hopefully you'll find exciting as well. And so with biohacking, what we really are talking about is just taking control of our bodies, taking control of a complex system and getting the outcome that we want to get, getting the results that we want. So what we're going to do, we're going to do that through nutrigenomics. So we're using nutrition to affect our gene expression. And so with nutrigenomics, we really have a power that is so different than supplementing. Instead, we have the benefit of activating our body to function like it should be functioning. This personalized health market has now become a $600 billion industry. That was in 2014. The projections for 2020 are even higher. And it really is just a field where people are looking for answers, they're looking for more, and the science behind this company is really what obviously piqued our interest, and the research that supports it is what makes it so that we as physicians are taking the time at night to talk to you about this because it's very important. And so this company began in 2003 when Dr. Joe McCord, who won a Nobel Prize for co-discovering an antioxidant enzyme that our body makes called SOD, superoxide dismutase, he formulated with his team a supplement called Protandim Nerf2 Activator. And this, in 2003, they had their blend. They had one patent on that blend and one peer-reviewed published study. And in 2005, there was an ABC Primetime Investigative report that launched this company into the forefront of nutrigenomics. So we're going to watch a little clip from that ABC Primetime Investigative report.
The following is an ABC Primetime Investigative report that aired in 2005.
You want to get an edge on turning back the clock with just a few pills? Who doesn't? Well, it's no longer science fiction, but science possibility, a potential breakthrough. As I found out firsthand, there may be a way to erase years, at least inside my body. Granted, it's down the road, but some scientists are wondering if a new pill I took might offer a very long life.
It may not look like the fountain of youth, but inside this nondescript building, I'm about to become part of an exciting experiment, a kind of guinea pig.
Dr. McCord, okay.
I'm here at the University of Colorado in Denver to meet Dr. Joe McCord, a world-renowned scientist.
This is a pretty exciting stuff you're finding, huh?
It is. We're very excited about it.
His latest research could very well unravel the mystery of aging itself. And his decades of experiments may have the potential of adding years to people's lives and possibly prevent chronic diseases like cancer, diabetes, and heart disease. It all centers around this small yellow pill, and for me, it begins with a blood test.
It wouldn't be the first time I've given blood for this company.
They want to check my levels of something called T-bars, which is a rough indicator of a person's actual age. T-bars can identify a condition known as oxidative stress, a kind of measure of the wear and tear on our bodies. Oxidative stress, like the rusting of an engine, is not a good thing.
Bad for the body,
Leading to disease.
leading to disease and leading to malfunction, and importantly, leading to what we call aging. It is a slow progression of increasing oxidative stress. That's the main characteristic biochemically of the aging process.
The problem of aging begins with the very food we eat to give us energy. As our cells burn that food, they also release toxic chemicals. Those chemicals, you may know them as free radicals, react with all the components of our cells, literally bombarding them millions of times per second, damaging all our cells. The result? Oxidative stress, and we all have it. The body fights back with a system of defenses. It makes two antioxidant enzymes, catalase and SOD, whose job is to gobble up the free radicals before they can harm our cells. But as we get older, some of those toxic radicals overwhelm our enzymes and wreak their havoc. For a long time, scientists thought that antioxidant vitamins like C and E would lower it, but they don't.
It's turned out in just the last 5 years or so, we see that they're not good enough tools. They're not powerful enough.
But this pill, he says, is powerful enough. In fact, many times more powerful.
So, doctor, how often do I take these?
And so, here I go. With that swallow, I've just become part of a potentially landmark scientific experiment.
Doesn't taste bad.
It's called Protandim, and tests on both mice and humans have already shown that it revs up the manufacture of those good enzymes in our bodies. More enzymes, fewer free radicals to harm us. Whether that will lead to longer life is still unknown. Experiments to see if mice live longer are about to get underway, but it's a tantalizing theory.
Right now, all we know is that this preparation decreases oxidative stress. Oxidative stress is not a disease, just like aging is not in itself a disease, but it's something that accompanies and is attached to many disease processes.
Have you discovered the fountain of youth?
I wouldn't put it that way, but we may have discovered something that will tell us a lot more about how we age, what happens biochemically, and maybe how we can slow it down. So you can see the age-related.
Normally, oxidative stress, measured by those T-bars, increases with age. But in Dr. McCord's tests, taking just one pill of Protandim a day reversed that trend for everyone at every age, even for an 80-year-old.
They all are reduced to the level of oxidative stress that one would expect, frankly, in a newborn or a very young child.
Back to the oxidative stress levels of a child? It sounds too good to be true. Will Protandim work on me?
But what about my progress? After nearly 2 weeks now, it's time to get my results. Dr. McCord calculates the numbers. The result? My level of oxidative stress has declined dramatically.
45%, that's excellent.
Just look at where I fall on the graph, before and after.
Which, if extrapolated back, is the level you would see in a newborn baby.
Have we turned back the clock? Well, maybe not on the outside, but deep inside within my cells. Yes, indeed.
Would you suggest I keep taking this supplement?
I would.
And so, ancient Eastern healing and modern Western medicine may soon be working together. High oxidative stress is associated with more than aging. It's been linked to hundreds of illnesses.
It's at the very center of many diseases: liver disease, diabetes, emphysema, asthma. I've studied all of these: strokes, heart attacks,
Even mental disease.
yes,
Depression?
Alzheimer's disease, depression. But we do know that oxidative stress is part of those disease processes. I don't want to wait until I'm 80 years old and find out that I should have taken it.
The company that makes Protandim said the following.
All right.
Well, I always laugh when I see that, Jess. I don't know about you, but we used to watch this show in my 9th grade civics class, and it was to debunk, basically different products and companies and to show the non-truths. But what actually happened with this report then is that it proved and showed and reinforced the science behind these products for most people. So kind of like we saw with that happens, people wanting the product. So overnight, the sales increased, like $5 million just over that night. So, which is very obvious to see. And with that increase comes self-funded studies from different universities and institutions. So when we look a little bit more at LifeVantage, we can see that it's a publicly traded company, and they actually had Protandim NRF2 in retail stores from 2005 until about 2009. So you could go into like Target or Walgreens, GNC, and you could find this product on the shelves, which is kind of funny to think of. In 2009, they actually switched from retail to direct sales, and this was mostly because of a marketing glitch. What they found was when consumers went into a store, if they saw a product lined up next to vitamin C, vitamin A that said Protandim NRF2, the general consumer didn't have any idea what this was. And so they weren't having the sales that they had wanted. So they brought in a marketing consultant to kind of go over and give them recommendations, and the recommendation was then to move into direct sales. And after a few weeks of testing, they saw how much more increase in sales they were able to have, and that's when the company moved into a direct sales type of market. And in that year, they grew from that $10 million, or a little bit less than $10 million in sales, to over $200 million that year. All right, so here are a couple or a few of the institutions and different places that are doing their own research using these products. We're backed by the American Heart Association. We have the National Institute of Aging and Health also doing several studies with us.
All right, so when we get back to things, we really want to start talking about is what is oxidative stress, because that's our claim. That's our FDA approved claim, is that we can reduce oxidative stress by 40% in 30 days. So we don't claim that we treat, cure, or diagnose any disease, condition, or symptom. But what we can do is reduce your oxidative stress load. And what is that? So you can see that oxidative stress is linked to every system in our body. Every symptom, condition, or disease has underlying with it an oxidative stress load. So that's basically like wear and tear in our body, or the rusting of the apple is the picture that is given, the oxidation of that apple. As it's left out, it starts to rust and wither and wrinkle and become decrepit. But what happens is our body releases free radicals in response to normal reactions in our body. So when we digest our food, when we breathe our air, any of our normal processes, we release them as a byproduct. But when we expose ourselves to toxic situations, which we often do, even sometimes indirectly, things such as things found in our water, when we exercise, radiate different kinds of radiation or pollution, then we have even more free radicals to deal with. And as we age, this free radical damage starts to outweigh our ability to neutralize those free radicals. But what they found is that the solution for reducing oxidative stress, or for neutralizing those free radicals, is with antioxidants. And so that's when you saw all the research about, hype, I should say, all the hype about you need to eat a certain, they've even changed the food pyramid. We need to eat all these fruits and vegetables. And we do, but it's not just for their antioxidant benefit. But that's when we really saw them. And we see antioxidants put in everything, right? There's even antioxidants in water now. You can just, everything, superfruit, super greens, shakes, juices, whatever. But these direct antioxidants will neutralize free radicals at a ratio of 1:1. But what happens with our NRF2 activator is that we allow our body to produce its own antioxidants at a rate of 1,000,000 to 1 every second. So in comparison, eating a fruit or a vegetable would be like throwing a Dixie cup on a fire, and using our NRF2 activator would be like turning on a sprinkler system in every room of the house all at one time. Totally different scenario. So how does it work is that NRF2 is actually a protein messenger within inside every cell in our body. And when we take this supplement, it activates that cell, it activates that protein messenger, NRF2. And that NRF2 protein messenger attaches to your DNA, and it causes an expression of certain genes. And it's estimated 10 to 25,000 human genes are affected by this one product. But one of those genes that is affected is the body's ability to produce its own antioxidants. So, of course, you can see 1,000,000 to 1 sounds a lot better than 1 to 1. So we need to turn on our body's own production of catalase, glutathione, SOD, every antioxidant that we can produce. And the benefit comes not just from the products, because you can't take these products individually and get the same outcome. But when you take here, if you look at this graph, this is super cool. So it shows our components of protandum, ashwagandha, bacopa, green tea, milk thistle, turmeric or curcumin. And then it shows how, and the quantity of these products is so very minimal, you guys. And so, you know, I've often had people say to me, well, I've tried that in a much higher dosage than what you're recommending, and I didn't have the outcome. Well, what Protandem has is synergy, and that is that the sum of the products is better than taking them individually. There was an 18 times more positive effect by taking them in this exact blend than in other methods, which is why we now have 7 US patents on our blend for their specific purposes. And sometime you should seriously look at these patents, because it's very impressive. I'll let you finish, Elizabeth.
All right. So Jess and I get really excited about peer-reviewed research, which is really comical for most people, I'm sure. But the reason we do this is because we see things clinically that happen through trial and error, but we also use evidence-based research to produce certain things within a clinical setting. So what we're seeing here is a review of several studies that went over at the NRF2, the NRF2 Protandem. And they're just evaluating the differences, different approaches and different things that the body, activating this body process actually does. And it's stated right in this review that NRF2 may well become the most extraordinary therapeutic drug ever, and that it also produces extraordinary preventative issues. And this is what gets us excited, because we're now switching our mentality from providing a type of supplement or natural product to create, dissolute any imbalances in the body. And we're now talking about prevention and activating the parts of our body that are already available to us and producing these health outcomes that we are looking for. All right, so here is another fabulous study, and this is from the Multiple Sclerosis Journal. This one is so cool because it's funded by a company called Biogenetic. It's a self-funded study on their product, Tecfidera. And what they're doing is they're comparing Tecfidera to Protandem NRF2. And Tecfidera is, of course, a synthetically produced drug. And so it comes with some really massive side effects, of course, and that includes brain inflammation and death. And so when we're comparing these two products, what this study is showing is that the Tecfidera is decreasing oxidative stress in some subjects at a ratio of 2% to maybe 20%. There's some alterations going on in there. When we compare it to our Protandem NRF2, we're seeing in every subject there is at least a 40% decrease in this oxidative stress level within 30 days, which is ridiculous. The other thing when they're comparing these two products is we're looking at the costs, and this Tecfidera is pretty outrageous. In a 3-month dosage, we're looking at $52,000 worth of their product here. When we're looking at a 3-month supply of our Protandem NRF2, we're looking at about $120. So that's way more than a lot of people make even annually, and so there is no comparison really between this. And in this article, they actually state that Protandem and its compilation of products using this natural synergistic effect can actually may be a better therapeutic strategy for multiple sclerosis or any neurodegenerative type of thing that could be going on. And so this is another thing that gets me really excited. Because how many people do you know that are dealing with a neurodegenerative disease? So how can we activate the body to produce some changes for them in a positive manner? And it's stating right in this study that NRF2 is a way to do that.
So with NRF2 activation, which we consider the solution for oxidative stress, because we know that we're going to get that 40% reduction in 30 days, like Dr. Elizabeth just said. But we know that the effect is cumulative. So the longer that we're taking it, the more that reduction is seen. And so we want that benefit of taking it long term, of getting that reduction over time. But what we're seeing is that we can combat cellular stress. We can prevent some of that wear and tear, and we can help our bodies to start to repair. And there was a study done by the National Institute of Aging, that's the US government's National Institute of Health funded, and they discovered, or they found that Protandim was the only natural product proven to extend lifespan. Seriously, you guys. It's not just about how long you're living, but it's about the quality of life that you're living as well. And really that we have to start thinking about that from a prevention standpoint, even in our 20s and 30s and 40s, and not wait till we have some major traumatic event happen to us and then start to get to thinking about it. I mean, that's a pretty impressive statement right there. But NRF2 helps to regulate your body's survival genes. And we also have the stamp of NSF and BSCG, so even elite athletes can use this product without having to worry about drug screenings and that kind of thing as well. So slow down your cellular aging with NRF2 Protandim.
Right. Do you want me to take over? Okay, so we were talking about one of our first major health issues that we have going on in society today, and that, of course, is that oxidative stress level. Second major thing that we see is mitochondrial dysfunction. And you can see to the right of the screen over there, in the advanced stages, this leads to things like cancer and Alzheimer's, Parkinson's disease. But in the earlier stages, this is that person who is chronically fatigued. This is that person who, no matter how much rest they get, what they're doing, they are unable to ever catch up and feel like they're not tired. And that's because the mitochondria are the powerhouse of our cells. And what they do is they produce ATP, or the form of energy that our body uses. So as those free radicals and that oxidative stress is swinging around in our bodies, it's directing its energy towards these mitochondria, which is damaging them and causing all of these issues to happen. So this is a major health issue within our bodies. If you want to move to the next slide, Jess, we'll talk about the solution to that then is it's the NRF1 activation. So again, we're looking at a cellular activator, which is very similar to the NRF2 pathway. So what happens if you imagine the cell, again, we're going to activate a messenger within the cell to attach to our DNA to cause our DNA to express certain genes. And this time, most importantly, what's going to happen is it's going to repair faulty genes, or repair faulty mitochondria. It's going to produce beautiful new mitochondria, and it's going to increase those energy levels for us, that ATP. And this in turn fuels as well our NRF2 pathway, which is pretty cool. So they are working together very, very aggressively. So what we see is that increase in cellular energy. We see improved performance and production. We see enhanced cellular health and improved quality of sleep. So again, this is our NRF1 is the solution to that mitochondrial dysfunction that we have going on in our bodies.
And the third problem that we often see is really a leaky gut, or the poor health of our gut. And there are so many fundamental issues that come from a gut that is not working appropriately. But I always like to talk about my 4 favorite things about the gut, and that is not only digestion of our food, but absorption of the nutrients. We want to have food be our fuel. So we need to have food that is good for us. And if we're not absorbing the foods from what we are putting in, then it is really difficult to get anything out of what we're eating. But there's also this poor lining that exists in our guts too. And so we want to get that gut lining repaired. And then there's this intimate connection between the brain and the gut as well. But the biggest one, I would say, is that 70 to 90% of our immune function is coming from good bacteria in our gut. And so that's where PHYSIQ PROBIO comes in. It provides the right strains of the bacteria we need, which many probiotics have. And then it also, what they did though, is they added Wellmune, which has beta-glucans in it, which are similar to what is found in mother's first milk or colostrum. And they also put a Biotract lining on it. So it bypasses our stomach acid and it gets to the small and large intestine where it slow releases through the gut, delivering organisms as it goes along. So the survival rate is 60% compared to a typical 4%. Probiotics are definitely essential for optimal health.
Absolutely.
We are in the less than 10-minute time frame.
Okay. Our fourth major problem is actually fatty imbalance or too much omega-6 is going on in our body. And so we have this beautiful solution for that, which is Omega Plus. And Omega Plus is a blend of our good fatty acids that we're looking for. Omega-3, which deals a lot with brain health, cardiovascular health, skin health, and immune system. But also, importantly, Omega-7, which does a lot of those similar things to Omega-3s, but it's very important for weight management and metabolism. Along with that, we also have vitamin D added in there. This is a very pure and high quality form of fish oil. And fish oil for me has always been a recommendation for everyone. It doesn't matter who you are, everyone needs to be on it. And like a lot of people say, it needs to start in utero and it needs to go to death. So this is a beautiful form of fish oil to be taking. And this is True Science. This is our skincare line. So this is our NRF2 activation, the solution for oxidative stress to our skin. So just like the NRF2 pathway intracellularly, this is outside working inside for you. So there's a facial cleanser, there's a perfecting lotion, an eye serum, and an anti-aging cream. And all of this works to remove oxidative stress from our exterior, from our biggest organ, which is the skin. And AXIO, I'll take this one because this is one of my favorite products, absolutely. AXIO is a beautiful NRF2 activator, but it's specific for brain chemistry. So this is a water additive that you mix in, and it immediately releases into your brain to increase your energy, your mental clarity and acuity, your focus. It helps with sleep, and it just really gets that brain chemistry to the right locations so that we can activate all those centers. So we call it the Smart Energy because it has no sugar in it, it's sweetened with stevia, and it's an all-natural product. So you don't get that crash that you typically have with different caffeinated beverages.
Yes. And this is PHYSIQ, which is our weight management line that came about, obviously, due to demand. Everyone is looking for ways to lose weight or to maintain their weight. And so this comes with that PROBIO we already talked about, and then a cleanse and a fat burn, which are in capsule form, and then a protein shake with slow and fast release proteins. And so very targeted at good gut health and just really helping you to balance combined with your diet and your exercise regimen. And then, of course, NRF2 activation for our four-legged friends, the dogs in the world. We know that oxidative stress in animals is much higher than it is in humans. And so it just makes sense that they would have a version that's specifically for them. And so many people were giving their dogs the original NRF2 Protandim. That is why they reformulated this version specifically for them. So networking, we're just very briefly going to go over this stuff. I want to talk to you a little bit about networking because I feel like everyone does this all the time and they don't realize how much they do this. So think about the last time you went to a restaurant and the food was really good and the service was awesome. And so I'm sure what you did was you told somebody about it, right? And then what did they do? They wanted to go there. Or how about you find your favorite pair of leggings? You tell your best friend, and what do? They buy them to try them because you liked them, so they're going to like them. Or you go to a massage therapist that's really good. You're probably going to tell somebody about that, and then you'll probably go again, But really with this company, there's two ways to get involved, as a preferred customer or a distributor. Preferred customers want to use the products, and distributors want to use the products and they want to network. Both preferred customers and distributors get wholesale pricing, both choose the products that they want, and both get the products delivered directly to them. We eliminate the middleman. And distributors get paid to do that networking process. You want to do this one?
Sure. So we're really at the beginning of this curve that we're looking at here. This business is just starting to really gain its momentum. It's a great time for everyone to get involved on any level. And this is just kind of showing some of that momentum for you.
And because we're a publicly traded company, we have to have an income disclosure. This is what average distributors make per month. Obviously, this is not why Elizabeth and I got involved, so we don't really even care to tell you about the money part, but you need to know that the company does need to compensate you for your time because you are distributing their products. This is the only way you can get this product is through an independent distributor. So this is important. And as a distributor, you would be buying one of these bundles of product to start. So a platinum pack is the way to go if you're really interested in doing this as a business. And we do it as a team. We help you as you go along. And there's also a gold pack and a silver pack option. As a preferred customer, you're just going to be purchasing the products that you want at wholesale pricing. Elizabeth?
Yes. And here are some of our subscription stacks, which I really love because it pairs together a lot of the products that we would typically be recommending for an individual anyway. And what it does is it gives you a reduced cost on the product as well as free shipping for that, which is sent to you on whatever date you choose for that month. So you never run out of your product, which is also another big issue typically for the average person. So you can see the True Science stack that's available, our Vitality stack, which is one of my favorites, which puts NRF2, NRF1, our Omega Plus, and our PROBIO together. And then we also have a Travel Vitality stack, so you don't have to cart around the bottles if you don't like to. There's individual daily portions available for you for traveling. So I definitely wanted to just say thank you to everyone. I want to say thank you to Jess for having me tonight, but also to anyone that took the time out of their evening to listen to this information. And I'm very excited, and I want to motivate you to biohack, to use the latest science to produce the health outcome that you are most interested in. And please get back to the person who invited you to this presentation as well.
Going to stop.